All right, so game number one is wait, why there it is. Took a little while to load. So game number one is taking us to Towers of Doom. This was picked by Stepdads, which gives Team Freelo the first hero ban and pick. You know, I think Towers of Dooms is one of those maps that I believe Stepdads probably did a little bit of research on. Freelo doesn't like to play it as much, or at least they haven't played it that much. But immediately coming out with the false headband, which is quite interesting. I'm sure they probably have done their research on Stepdads to make sure that that's, you know, getting rid of some of the global. They're probably expecting to maybe first pick the Dahaka with his global presence on the map, and you know, Stepdad's bamming out the Abathur. So yeah, once again, getting rid of more of that global pressure. Abathur gets really annoying with if you get that Maiev hat or the Genji clone or any of the mages like that that can put a lot of pressure on there. So, just like I said, first pick with the false dead ban, Abathur counter ban, has to be the Dahaka first pick, gets that global pressure. I mean, it can be punished. It can be punishable depending on how much you are able to put pressure on the Dahaka. If you can get a gank right before get a gank specifically on Dahaka right before a tower phase, then it kind of negates the whole point of his global. A lot of times, like you want to rotate to the global person because then it gets rid of that attribute from him, or at least that advantage of having the 4v5. But I mean, Dahaka always has that power of like if anybody tries to invade the bottom sapper camps on the bottom lane, then Dahaka can instantly make it an advantage fight for them. So it's something that Stepdads is really gonna have to pay attention to. Their solo laner is gonna have to call out when he's burrowing and be really responsive to his team. So I mean, it opens up a lot of options. They can do a Mouth Tracer here. There are still two more picks for Freelo, so they might be scared of the like Diablo, but Mouth Tracer is always a very solid team fight combo for this map. But they actually go for the Diablo Maiev, so they get some of the a little bit of a wombo combo with the Warden's Cage and the Apocalypse. You know, I mean, it's just one of those. I mean, Maiev is just one of that hero that it just creates so much disruption that it can be quite annoying. Just like you get that little bit of a pick, maybe pulls that enemy into a Diablo so that Diablo can flip and then charge, which is, you know, ideal for a Diablo player to be able to do. You don't normally get that, so it's not something to look for, but still provides a lot of gankability on Stepdads. But Dahaka is actually really good against Maiev, just because he can if he lands an isolation on Maiev, she's dead. Like she just dies. He can burrow through the Warden's Cage. He can get into stun locks. Obviously, kill Maiev pretty well. But even though they already have the Dahaka, they are also going to go for the Tyrael and the Li Ming. You know, we don't see Li Ming that often in NGS so far. There's some of the writers for NGS have actually put out their articles about the pretty much, I guess, the division metas for each division, like A, B, and C, and heroic, of what heroes have been picked the most, their win rates, and their popularity. And Li Ming is actually quite low on the mage scale of popularity. She's very strong on this map. She has constant poke on the bell towers to kind of get interrupts. And I mean, the burst potential that she provides it's always scary. I mean, once you start getting those resets, you can't ignore that. Like, you definitely want to be totally focused on your positioning against to get a lot of those orbs. So what does Stepdads want to ban? They already, you know, obviously can't ban the Tyrael. There's no reason to ban Blaze now. There's still the healer if there's a specific healer they don't want to deal with, but they get the next two healer picks. I mean, they get the next two picks, so one of them, obviously, they're going to be picking up their healer. So they probably don't want to ban the top healer. Maybe ban like the Stukov, or not Stukov, the Malfurion. And then wanting to pick up Stukov. So Stukov with the Warden's Cage with the APOC. Stukov with the Warden's Cage makes it a little trickier for Tyrael to get the Sanctification off. Now we'll probably see Stukov take the Lurking Arm build, the same old Lurking Arm build, with the increased radius of the Lurking Arm, because that way it kind of encompasses the whole Warden's Cage. And if Tyrael wants to walk in there, he has to get silenced, and he's not going to get and they go ahead and ban Stukov. So they're not scared of the healer choke here. There's still a lot of good healers out. Uther is still really good against Maiev, and Uther's actually really good against Diablo. because you can get that cleanse on with against the Diablo. You get the armor whenever somebody's trying to be focused by Diablo, and when Diablo charges in, you can just stun him, and then that person can just walk away. The target of the Diablo can just walk away. Same thing with Maiev. Again, stun locks on Maiev is very strong. So I would imagine Freelo's going to pick up Uther here. Stepdads, what healer do they want the most? It's not going to be Lucio. Maybe they could take Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza fighting over a bell tower with dragon form and her ultimate could be pretty crucial. It does provide a lot of healing for fighting that one bell tower, like especially for those bell towers that are just the solo bell tower phase. Then popping Alexstrasza's R's and her trait could probably win you that bell tower. But yep, exactly. So pick up Sonya as their solo laner. That was kind of expected. I didn't even bother to mention it. And then they do go with the Alexstrasza. So I imagine we were going to see Uther, and do they pick up Genji? I don't think they take Genji. They don't have any. It's really going to be hard for them to jump on top of Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza is pretty much going to have free reign to do whatever she wants, I think, between the Maiev, the Diablo, and the Sonya. Do they need more dive for that? They have Tyrael for the dive. They could go Greymane. Tyrael with his trait shields. Greymane is good on the camps. Li Ming has good enough clear. I don't think they go Junkrat. I don't think Junkrat gives them enough prowess. Although Junkrat's really good against Diablo, Junkrat's good against Alexstrasza, throwing the bomb on top of her little W heal. Let's see what they pick up. They actually pick up Tychus and Deckard, so I was completely wrong with what they were doing. I don't know how to make this go away now. There we go. Yeah, so I was completely wrong picking up the Deckard. I mean, I guess he's still one of the top healers right now. A lot of people are saying that. And can I not make myself... There it is. Tychus can blow up Diablo. He did get buffed a little bit recently with his Bigger They Are doing getting a reduced cooldown, so he has that more often. He will have, I mean, Tychus does require to be in there a little bit more with the auto attacks, so Tyrael shielding will help out. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I like Tychus. I think Tychus will fit well here. I firmly believe that Tychus is very good against Sonya. Obviously, he's very good against Diablo. I don't know how well he does against Maiev because, I mean, he has the dash after Maiev does the pull. So that's always good to have somewhat a little escape. Or to dash right away before the pull happens. They pick up Gul'dan. So they have a lot. They wanted some wave clear in that mage with the Gul'dan, but they lose a lot of kill pressure. I mean, Gul'dan's only doing dot damage. Deckard Cain's gonna do all right. He's gonna have a tough time in the early game with the Deckard Cain heals, but once it gets to the late game, I think Deckard's gonna have plenty, especially with the Tyrael healing, the Tyrael shielding here. I don't think he's gonna have any issues keeping up his team alive. So, going into game number 1 on Towers of Doom. If anybody's in chat, I'll see if what you guys think of this game so far. What these two team comps of who do you think is gonna have the better one? I mean, I feel like if they had anybody but Gul'dan, Kael'thas would have been fine here. I mean, I don't see as much value getting out of Horrify because again, there's not too much following up with it. I think they wanted burst potential. I would have liked if there was a Jaina or a Kael'thas from Stepdads, I think I would have liked that a little bit more. But going into... Wait, oh no, guys, I forgot to reset my Aliabs. Oh, this is going to be real bad, man. Look how terrible this looks. Anyways, game number 1 for the left side, the blue team, Stepdads. We got Dr. Holiday on Alexstrasza, Honk Hunter on Gul'dan, Villies on the Sonya, Bacon on the Medivh, Maiev, Adamsk on the Atomsk on the Diablo. On the right-hand side, Team Freelo, Tythel on the Dahaka, Skigums on the Li Ming, Blackout on the Tychus, Hollis on that Tyrael, and Richard Gear on the Deckard Cain. I feel really annoyed because the talents are up here, but my freaking UI covers it, so I was going to use Aliabs, but this is terrible looking. So we're just going to have to deal with it, and you guys have to look at the talents up top. I'll have to remember, somebody remind me in chat to change the Aliabs after this game. So we should see Dahaka. There you go, burrow top. I'm surprised he didn't wait a little bit to get those last 3 minions in. Nice little dodge there on the Sonya Spear. And normally enough, we will see the focus on this bottom lane because this is where the sappers, you want to try to really focus on the sappers pull. You want to make sure you keep pressure on these sappers to constantly have this rotation, but it's actually looking like Stepdads is looking for a little bit of gank. Blaming getting that last second blink over the wall. Might still die due to the pull from Maev, and she definitely does. Getting a little bit, a little bit cheeky there. Skiggins with the first feed of the day. I guess maybe there wasn't as much communication that Diablo was rotating up there, or that the 4-man was rotating up. And so he got a little bit too far up getting his experience. I'm actually quite surprised Stepdads is doing a 4-man rotation. It is usually pretty tough to do a 4-man rotation on this map, only because the lanes are quite far apart. But I think due to the fact that Freelo actually does not have that much wave clear, it's working out for them quite well. Yeah, Dahaka is not going to have a fun time up in this top lane, especially with the Sonya that's got mending, war paint. Both teams rotating to their sapper camps. Like I said before, this is pretty crucial for this map to be able to control these sappers. Taking a little bit longer for Freelo. There might be a little bit of engage here. Decker Kane doing a little bit of zoning. I mean, they're still on that camp. I think it might work out more in their benefit only because the sappers are going to take a little bit longer to get into the actual lane. So level 4 is hit for both teams. Tythel, a Blackout has not picked his level 4 yet. We don't know if it's going to be bigger they are, so he's going to be able to use it more often. But, I mean, the Sapper's going completely... The ones that downsides is that Tychus, with that short range, actually just barely gets away. If Bacon was able to get one more reset on that Q, I think Blackout probably would have died there. But that's the one downside. Like Tychus is trying to get in there, trying to get that auto attack in there, but essentially just gets flipped by the Diablo and the Maev. Skigum's coming for the gank. Unfortunately, does not have the long range blink yet, so he was not able to blink over that wall, and just trying to get that last little bit. So this is the part where Dahaka really gets our shining, but there's a 4-man here against the Deckard, and this should be a dead Deckard. And that's... Oh, there's no way he gets out, right? There's no way. Oh, he has self-healing. Well, that basically puts them in a very large lead here. Trying to get this bottom shrine. Diablo's getting another wallbang on the Dahaka. Dahaka's actually going to come in here with no essence, and actually is going to die out. But Hollis in the back line, able to chase down the Maev. I mean, Li Ming's here. There's a lot of damage here. Hollis has still got self-healing. He's got the cane, but he's going to end up dying. Gets maybe a little bit of trait value, but this is what I was talking about. I mean, Alex Straza has got Dragon Form, and it just makes it incredibly hard to push into her. Netting them 2 tower. Maybe not. I mean, Li Ming's got enough poke. Oh my god, that damage, though. Luckily, Tythel actually eats the flip. Unfortunate for Atomsk that he was not able to flip the Li Ming there. Otherwise, she definitely would have died. Ooh, fortunately, Diablo wasn't quite looking at that Tychus to be able to get that interrupt. He was focused. They definitely wanted to get both of them on the bell tower just to make sure that they got it. If he had, since they had 2 people on it, if Diablo had just seen Tychus here and said, "All right, Gul'dan, you finish it," and then him chart, he would have had a full free wallbang on that Tychus, and he would have died. Sonya's in mid lane. Dahaka's getting the soak for free right now. It's just the wave clear from Freelo is just slightly lacking. I think their level 10 is going to be slightly better. Yeah, the everything is messed up, the Mexican, because I didn't update to the Aliabs in the Observer, so my UI is technically going to be covering everything. And unfortunately, I don't have a good way to... I could just hide it. Maybe I'll just do that. Second, while hopefully everybody's seeing the fight down here. Once we get the next slow part, I'll hide it up. Taika's doing a good amount of damage. Li Ming coming in from the top side, getting some burst onto the Gul'dan. Hollis is going to try to focus on him. Gets the stunned by the Diablo. Li Ming's looking for it. I mean, that was a lot of damage that just came out from him. And they'll be able to clear out these sappers. Ooh, maybe? He's looking for it. Alright, let's see if I can turn this stuff off. Hide this, hide this. Hide this, hide this. This, hide this. Alright, there we go. So basically just gonna have the regular UI here, unfortunately. Dahaka coming in with the burrow. This is a 4v5 for a little bit. I mean, Limi's coming in at the end. Maiev gets rooted, actually, and stunned by the Dahaka, so it ate a lot of damage there. But now it's a 5v5. Once again, the Alex draws a dragon form. Makes it so hard to fight into this. Bacon looking for that pull. Richard Gere just kind of walking into it. Hollis ends up dying in the back line and getting no value out of the trait. They might trade the Diablo, but does not look like they do. But they get the Maiev because the Maiev got a little bit greedy. Velas was able to channel that bell tower though, and that's actually getting a 8-point lead for Stepdads. But you know, this map is not about the tower shots, really. Not in the early game. Tower shots do not matter until it gets to like 10 shots left, and then that's when the boss comes. That's when the boss comes into play and the sappers come into play. Really, up until you have 10 shots left, you have free reign. They got a little bit greedy here. They do get the Dahaka, but Diablo's going to be able to pull and flip. They get Gul'dan, but Diablo's going to be able to pull and flip Dahaka away. Now Maiev getting the double hit. She did go to the town. Once again, another pull on Gul'dan. That was such a reach on that Gul'dan. I'm actually very surprised that he hit it, netting them a kill. Barely able to follow up on the Diablo. That is the one downside of Li Ming, that those minions pretty much saved Diablo's life. So the one downside. But with that Gul'dan kill, they're going to be aggressive. Both have level 10s and invade into Stepdad's sapper camp on the bottom lane. Dahaka and Sonya regulated to the top lanes, as they always are. 4 minutes coming in. Diablo's in range. Okay, so they are going to pass it up. Level 10s reach for everybody. We got Lornado, Wave of Force, Odin, Sanctification, Leap, Sonya. So looking to leap on top of that Decker, to leap on top of that Li Ming. And, of course, Horrify and Cleansing Flame. So this is going to be the real fight to watch. We got Warden's Cage, but we got Sanctification. We got Horrify, and we got APOC. But, you know, how are these ultimates really going to synergize with each other? Are they going to be able to time it out correctly? If Hollis gets feared out of the Sanctification, that could spell dire. Lornado's already coming out. Is actually zoning the Gul'dan. What a Lornado in there. Horrify comes out, only hitting one member. There comes the Warden's Cage, but Hollis was not able to get to the Sanctification. And this is actually going to be a 3-man wipe. 4-man looks like, since they did not have Skigums. It was a 5v4. And they ended up trading 1-for-1 on the towers. I'm actually surprised if there's a little bit of miscommunication in the comms there, since they did have Skigums in that mid bell tower. Knowing that it was a 4v5, they don't have as much poke without Skigums there, so they probably did not. Freelo probably did not want to push into that bottom bell tower. And with that 3-man wipe, I mean, Stepdad's just going to push into this fort, and this is where it becomes tough. This is where, like I said before, those shots don't matter, but shots definitely help keep the pressure up. But taking these forts are what really is going to win you the game. Having control of this bot lane. Lornado doing a little bit of zoning. I mean, it's like the shortest cooldown ultimate ever, so it doesn't really matter. And we're going to be probably seeing this Dahaka trying to get as much double soak as possible. Odin actually coming out. They really do not want these 3 shots to come in. I mean, Odin's a pretty short cooldown, so they'll probably have it up before the next bell towers come out. But they wanted to 100% guarantee that they could take this fort back. You know, actually, now looking at it, it is probably the right call here, because they definitely want to make sure that they can get rid of this pressure of this fort. But now there's no minions here. They're taking tower shots. Hollis is super slow. He definitely is going to go down. Kind of a little bit of a miss. Oh, no! Got juked by Bacon. Not able to get that final trait value. Unfortunately, they pushed a little bit too far. They got some greedy with getting those kills. But, I mean, the Maiev displacement is just it's being annoying enough that they're getting people off, they're getting people into the forts, taking those tower shots, and with the Diablo as well. I mean, they're putting on a punishment here for Freelo. Stepdads is definitely giving them a run for their money, but you know the game's not over yet. There are no keeps, nobody can go core, so they have some time to come back. But Stepdads has got a sizable lead. Not going to be able to interrupt, just going to trade 1 for 1. Level 13 leads, but I think they just had very little time while they had the advantage there, which is fine. Man, so like what can Freelo do here? I mean, it's tough. They're gonna try to they have to catch up in experience. I mean, they're both same talent tiers. They could force a 5v5. The problem is that they're forced. Once this fort dies, Freelo needs to push in hard. Nice root onto the Gul'dan. They're looking for it. But once again, as soon as they get into that Gul'dan, they might have nice sanctification, stopping a lot of damage coming out. Odin's coming in, getting that armor. Unfortunately, Dahaka has to come in from way in the back, but at least this time they're not pushing into a tower fort, and they're chasing hard. Nice Horrify. Keep Odin way out of the fight, but... so, I mean, Dahaka, that's all ultimates are out. Nice isolation onto the Alexstrasza, not able to get those heals out, and Gul'dan getting caught a little bit on that split there. Tried to, like, I guess he was trying to rotate bottom to try to bait them away, I guess. But, yep. Stepdads doing a good job just trying to disengage. But now this is a 5v3. Sonya wasn't here the whole time. Sonya's actually going to get complete value on the top lane. They're just going to trade fort for fort here since they see Sonya up to the top lane. Bacon getting those resets on the Q. The siege is actually being repelled by Bacon and the Alexstrasza. Wait, oh, Sonya actually did not get fort. But she will rotate over to this bell tower. Once again, we're seeing the Li Ming, who has the most poke, go up to the shrine and cap the shrine. I mean, like, yeah, Tychus is a lot of your damage, but, I mean, I guess they gave it to him for free. They didn't have Gul'dan there, so I guess it's fair. I mean, in the future, I feel like Li Ming's not the one to do it. Like, if you're going to send anybody away, that's not Dahaka, because Dahaka's already in the 4-man, or he's already doesn't have his burrow available. Like, if you have to keep Dahaka with you, I feel like Tychus is the one to send out, just because Li Ming's gonna have Wave of Force and poke. Nice pull, getting the Diablo, but I feel like this is gonna be the fight that they're gonna want. Another sanctification actually blocks the Horrify. That was a value sanctification. Lornado coming in is gonna push away the Dahaka as much as possible, interruption, but Richard actually getting pretty low. Bacon's getting some resets, but he's going to pay for it with his life because of getting in too far. Diablo actually is the one that gets out. Since everybody turned on the Maiev, Diablo is able to just walk away. And that was a level 16 to 15 fight that they lost there. Once again, it was a 4v4. I don't think... I actually did not pay attention. I did not know if Dahaka was in that fight. Tyrael taking a lot of damage from that Gul'dan, but with the heals from the Decker Cane. Late game heals of Decker Cane is actually quite disgusting. So let's look at that. So Alexstrasza with 63,000 healing, Decker Cane with 55, but you also have the added healing from Tyrael of kind of gets them on par with Alexstrasza. But once they get level 16 and once they get, especially once they get level 20, we're going to see Decker Cane's healing jump up tremendously. Hollis actually with the feeding of 4 deaths for his team. Ooh, this is a 4-man. Dahaka should have Burrow in. Wave of Force already came out, tried to zone him off the point. Nice Lornado is really going to zone him up, but Tyrael is going to be the first one to die, getting more trait value. It actually ends up with no damage. Popped Dragon, though, but Dragon for a hero kill is completely worth it, especially since this is a solo bell tower. This is going to take him down. Are they actually going to think about not hold? Okay, they're not going to hold it. Horrify's coming out, bringing out Dahaka into their team. Nice wall stun from the Diablo and trying to get the reset, but he's taking tower shots and ends up going down because of that. Alexstrasza was a little late with the Cleansing Flame to try to save him, but I mean they still traded Odin. So once again, it was Diablo's gonna be back. This is a 5v5, 5v4. Diablo's here. They don't have Tyrael. Diablo's gonna come in. Another wall. This time they don't have Tiro for the Sanctification, and that is a huge Warner's Cage, but they all live. Deckard Cain, now Sanctification's coming out. Skigum's in the backside, almost dying to Diablo, but he's going to be able to get some resets, and that's a double kill. So Hollis barely gets there. Actually, Richard, with the potion healings, is actually able to, like the AoE healing from Richard, Potion Revival, the AoE healing in that Warden's Cage, even with the APOC, was enough to save everybody long enough for Hollis to get there with Sanctification, and they were able to turn 2 kills there and get that fort. Let's see, what's the cooldown on Mercs? This Merc was just taken, that's how they were able to take the fort so easily. So they're just actually going to push, and they're just going to get more fort value. I mean, there's no Mercs available. You might as well get value somewhere, especially with your 3v5, your 5v3. Lord Nado's going to come in and try to push out the Gul'dan. Gul'dan's going to fear to try to save his life. And he is able to walk away. But it was scary enough that they sort of peeled him off. No, everybody's coming in. This will be a 5v5 soon, but Tythel with the stun on the Gul'dan, and that is not the time Gul'dan wanted to die. Now with the isolation, like I was talking about before, on that Maiev, and then followed up with the stun on Sonya, Tythel is just killing it with all of his abilities. Immediately chaining 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 on different people, actually. So that was really good communication for his team to follow up on all the on who the focus target was. And with that fight, with the 2 forts down, that is actually a level lead for Freelo. 2 forts, so this is going to be a 6 shots onto Stepdad's core. And now we got ourselves a game. I mean, this is super even. We actually might see them 5-man push onto this top fort, and there's only a Diablo and an Alexstrasza here to shoot that bottom tower. They're not going to kill that in time. They're actually going to kill this top fort before Diablo and Alexstrasza are able to kill this. So they're not going to get too much value. They might get 1 shot off. No shots off. Okay. Oh, they got 1. Okay, I was right the first time. I just trusted myself. So 1 free shot actually puts them ahead in shots now by 1 because of that. And this is a tough spot for Stepdads. Like I was talking before, game was not over. Any team fight could have brought it back. And level 20 hit for Freelo. So we're going to get the long duration Sanctification. Nice Wave of Force knocking them back, but they weren't able to capitalize on it as much with the stuns. But the effort is there. It's basically making them scared. I'm actually surprised. Yeah, I was about to say, I was waiting for that to happen because Diablo is just going to pull him back out and gets the free kill on Hollis. I'm actually quite surprised knowing that Diablo is right there to flip him into the death zone. But they're just going to rotate fully down to the bot lane now and just do that little dance on this map that always happens. But, I mean, I guess with that Typhel death, they were able to get 3 shots in. So it actually makes these 2 bell towers a kill potential. Granted, I don't believe Freelo should get both of them. They might get 1, depending on how Stepdads plays it. Because they are down Tyrael for 25 seconds. They have the full combo, no Sanctification. But, wait, are they going to let them have both? Yeah, I was about to say, they can't have them both. I think Freelo's actually going to poke this enough. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Trying to get those kills, get the stuns on Deckard with the leap coming in. And the stun on Deckard Cain. Ends up getting 1 kill. Lord Nado trying to save him, but does not come out soon enough. But they trade 1 for 1. I mean, that puts Boss is going to... Anytime Boss comes up, that's going to be a play that Stepdads is going to have to be worried about. That level 1 talent on Straza is no good. Why do people take it? I don't know, man. You keep saying that, but... Diablo pushing into... No! The counter synergy! This is where you throw the counter synergy. Sanctification comes out. But they pushed into a fort with no minions. They horrified out of the APOC. Warden's Cage second. The third Warden's Cage was the second thing to go out. And they're actually going to lose 2 people here. No! What happened, Stepdads? Why you do this? He's looking for it. I mean, Skiggins probably has the Wave of Force. There it is. Nice push. But not enough. I mean, it's hard to follow up with that because she was still quite far away. Oh, man, you hate to see it. Stepdads had the chance to come back in when they had the Deckard Cain pick. But I think they just got a little too greedy, not waiting for the minions. And they're actually going to have a counter fort taken now by Freelo. Looking at the healing now, Deckard Cain's up to 87. Alexstrasza actually up to 102. damage held by Tychus and Gul'dan. And we're just going to see them take all the forts. We're just going to trade fort for fort, which I think is probably the right call. There's no way that they can defend this with this 3-man. But now the problem is that they're in mid lane. They're going to get ganked here. Like, this is 100% a gank. This is 3 people dead. Oh, they're looking for... No, come on, guys. Be aggressive. They're waiting for him to come in. Oh, they all get away. That was lucky. I don't know why you guys are waiting in that bush. There was no reason to wait there. No, Diablo. No, what are you doing? You're going to die. The rest of his team is coming in. He had to use the blink to get out, and that's not what you want to use. This is a solo bell tower. They have Alexstrasza. This is a 5v5 now. We're getting one trying to get the interrupt. We got Warden's Cage not coming. There's Warden's Cage. I think Fear is always trying to use Leap, APOC. Hollis has not been able to use Sanctification. Actually, had it on cooldown, but Dahaka is bodying the Gul'dan on the back, but Astim's on the Diablo, able to save the day. Odin's still available. Alexstrasza is still in dragon form. Ling Ming Poke is going to be the thing that's going to save it now. Odin is just about over. Ling Ming's got no mana. Lornado does not get the interrupt. Just barely does not get the interrupt. And this is a close game. This is 4-4. One bell tower wins the game. Yeah, so, John, I messed up. Oh, no. Is this game? There's 2 dead. Freelo. There's nothing they can do here. Lornado can probably come out and push him out. Nice wave of force, a little bit off-timed. We're going to see the Lornado, but the Alexstrasza, oh my god, everybody's sitting on top of it. Alexstrasza goes down. Wave of force, they're trying to sit on top of it, but there's nothing they can do here. It was a good effort, but that's going to be game number 1. Yeah, so I didn't change my Aliabs, so it was... The UI was taking over everything on the top lane, so I apologize for that, but Stepdads is on the left. But, you know, that's game number 1, going to Stepdads. And looking at the damage here, I mean, that was a back-and-forth game. That was about as close as they can get. Exact even on damage with Tychus and Gul'dan. The healing, Alexstrasza was able to pump out a lot of healing here. But, yep, I mean, that was close. All the talking, I didn't even realize that the 2 tanks for Freelo were down, so that was a great boss play. Boss, that's the thing. Once you get down to those 4 shots, you know, boss is like, it's the nail in the coffin. But, all right, so guys, I'm going to move it to the other screen while I fix my UI and I get the next game set up. So I'll be right back in like maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes. All right, and we're back. So I got everything fixed, changed over my Aliab's interface so that way I have the correct interface going on. It doesn't mess everything up. And just to give a quick update, so one member of Stepdads is restarting their computer, so we are waiting for them in the lobby, and then we will get started. Second game is bringing it to Infernal Shrines. I should probably update this thing that tells who's got a point. Just forget that one. But man, I mean that was a close game on towers. There's a lot of little things to do. I mean, I thought, you thought Stepdads was throwing it when they were fighting on that bottom tower of Freelo without minions, and Diablo got caught out, and then like I think Maev maybe got caught out. So in turn, Freelo takes 2 forts. Stepdads takes a fort, and like even with Stepdads taking that top fort, Freelo like waits in a bush for them to come in. Like I'm not really sure about that call because they're either gonna back or they're gonna run through their lane in the top lane. Like why would they walk through boss pit to get to their fort? So I'm not really sure about that. As opposed to just putting pressure on them, allowing them all to hearth, and then delayed enough for Diablo and Maev to come back and just get the 2 kills, the 2 separate kills. I'm actually not sure how Tyrael did not have sanctification on cooldown. That's why he died, and then they were able to follow up with the Haka and those 2 tanks down. Just went for boss, man. I mean, it was good. It was really back and forth, really back and forth. That's one of the good things about Towers of Doom is that like it's hard to really call it at any point in the game unless somebody's like really super stomping you and they have all 3 forts. Like you can always come back because like there's no keep, there's no core. As long as you're able to push into towers and you're able to control some of the map, then you can always come back. All right, so we got the 5th member from Stepdads is in the lobby now, so we should be started soon. All right. All right, let's start the game. All right, game number 2, going to Infernal Shrines of Stepdads versus Team Freelo. This was Team Freelo's map pick, which means Stepdads has first hero pick. They're going to, let's see if they can rally coming out of that loss. It was a very close loss, so hopefully they're not beating themselves up too much. And, bring it back. And then Stepdads, they already have that first win. They need one more, get that domination. I think that would give Freelo their first loss. I don't know if they've lost yet or not. Freelo has not lost yet. So, Stepdads, you have the chance. You have the chance to bring it. I believe. Just feed on Skigami. All right, so Infernal Shrines. We saw... What did we see banned early last time? We saw there's no Garrosh play by either teams. We are going to get a Medivh ban. Stepdads was able to get away with a Diablo and Maev first, right off the bat. And this time, they're going to ban the Maev. They don't want to pick it. They don't want him to first. I'm surprised here because they do have the first 2 picks. And maybe they still didn't want Stepdads to even take the first pick with Maev. But this time, they're actually going to pick the Garrosh, which I'm actually quite surprised with. They first picked Diablo last time. And I believe Diablo is a much stronger player on this map than Garrosh. Yeah, so Freelo is immediately going to pick up the Diablo, followed up by the Genji. If they don't get Maev, usually they get Genji. Genji's really strong on this map, trying to gang that top lane. Has a lot of walls to jump over. And also, Diablo has a lot of walls to stun. I'm quite surprised Stepdads did not take the Diablo. So following up, are we going to see the healer pick right away from Stepdads and possibly one of their wave clear heroes or maybe one of their Merkers? I have everything set up. Yeah, I have sounds on. I mean, they have lots of options. You have Twilight Dream against the Genji. if you want to take the Malfurion, it's open before it gets to the second ban phase. You have maybe not Jaina. I think Kael'thas is alright against Genji. I don't think we want to see Gul'dan here. They actually end up picking the Stukov. And Sonya, so they do pick the solo lane. You know, they have the solo Sonya last game. I think it does fine. I think Sonya's still one of the top solo laners. She's a, what do we quote unquote, babysitter of the shrine on this map, where you can just leave her on the shrine. She's going to be safe. She's going to have free healing, and she's going to clear everything. So always very powerful. She can take mercs, and you know, she does everything. I think she's still top. But since they picked their healer, I imagine they're probably going to ban, or Stepdads is probably going to ban a healer. So that means Freelo is going to be looking to probably ban somebody that's going to try to punish their next 2 picks. So their next 2 picks, if I were to bet, is probably going to be Junkrat and Malfurion if they get it. If they don't get Malfurion, maybe Deckard, maybe Alexstrasza. Most likely Alexstrasza. I would bet Junkrat Alexstrasza here. And so with who would they want to ban against that? I don't know. I don't know who you want to ban, because you kind of already have like a great comp for it. Maybe they banned the Junkrat. That's surprising. Okay. So that means they had no intention of playing it. So who's going to be their poker? Who's going to be their DPS, essentially? No. Stepdad's banning the Uther. Interesting. You don't really see Dragon Blade, Divine Shield Uther anymore, or Divine Shield, Dragon Blade Uther. Bleh. Dragon Blade Genji anymore. I mean, like, who would Uther counter against their team that they might be afraid of? Uther is very easy to be thrown by Garrosh. You have an extra stun for Sonya, so I guess that's kind of annoying. You have to walk up to people to do anything against Stukov. I'm actually quite surprised that they would be scared of Uther. I mean, it has to be strictly because of the Divine Shield Genji. Maybe Stepdads is looking for major blow up in the next 2 picks, so they don't want to have that extra armor from Uther healing. They already did get rid of Medivh, so it's very possible. With the Garrosh, if Garrosh ever gets a throw on somebody, they can just try to just poke him down as fast as possible. Yeah, so they did pick up the Alexstrasza, picking up the Blaze, getting their solo laner. They have bunker available for Genji. So I did expect the Alexstrasza here. And I think mainly because they were not able to probably pick up their main DPS, they are just going to hold it for the last pick to make sure that they can get the perfect piece. I believe that should be Blackout's pick. Diablo is going to be on Hollis. Skigum's on Genji. So does Stepdads look for major damage? I mean, Gul'dan. I don't like Gul'dan with Garrosh. He does okay on this map. I think Kael'thas can work. You can get free flame strikes on the point. You can put Living Bomb on Genji and kind of scares him away. The only downside to Kael'thas is that he is super susceptible to Diablo and Blaze. But you know, then you can have Stukov to swipe away. They have Tychus. They do pick up Kael'thas, and they get Falstad. So they're going to be looking. So that's true. We did. Freelo did ban Falstad as a first ban last map. Granted, it made a little bit more sense because they were planning to go to Haka, and it is a globals usually make a pretty good impact on towers. A little less impact on Infernal, but obviously, I mean, if you have a really good Falstad player that can really pay attention to the minimap and the different lanes, getting a gank on Blaze is always beneficial. Falstad is pretty squish against Genji, depending on how the Genji plays. A lot of times Genji nowadays will want to trait in and then try to hit him with as many shurikens as possible and dash out. That is a better scenario for Falstad, because if the Genji traits in and you put your lightning shield on them, they can't trade out, which is usually the better thing for a Genji. But you know, we'll see how it plays out. Falstad will be able to get a lot of hammering stacks on the Alexstrasza W, depending on where the Alexstrasza places it. And again, you have Gust. But they did pick up Kael'thas. And Freelo picking up the Jaina. So we got fire versus ice going into Infernal Shrines. You know, Jaina providing that burst damage. So they basically have two really big bursty heals, bursty damage dealers on Freelo. Between the Genji and the Jaina. Genji's gonna try to poke in the back line. I think he's gonna be scared out by the Kael'thas a lot and the Falstad, both. Meanwhile, Jaina, the slow against Garrosh is very beneficial, but if Sonya and Falstad are able to come in with any type of flanks, I think it's gonna be very tough. If they are able to gust them away for a bunker, you can isolate the bunker, kill the bunker really quick. That gets rid of a lot of their self healing, or the self protection, I guess. But I guess you guys in chat, we got Ghost Dunk in there, we got Loyal Trader, John Knight. Let me guys know, who do you think guys have this map? Now keep in mind who won last game. Very close. I think it's still anybody's game. Let me know who you guys think is going to pull this one away. So game number 2 on Infernal Shrines. On the left hand side, we got Stepdads, we got Atomsk on the Garrosh, Dr. Holiday on the Stukov, Bacon on the Falstad, Honk Hunter on the Kael'thas, Valise on the Sonya. On the right hand side, Team Freelo, Hollis on the Diablo, Richard Gere on the Alexstrasza, Blackout on the Jaina, Skigums on that Genji, and Tythel on the Blaze. So since I have the correct observer now, everything actually looks good. So this is another big rotation map. Jaina does help with the rotations a lot with that instant wave clear. Basically, she just throws Blizzard on there and just walks away. Holding her level 1. Maybe deciding whether to go the globe or not. Everybody's using the abilities right off the bat. We need some more healer 1v1s in this meta. Skigum's looking for that rotation. Skigums and Blaze looking for that rotation. So Freelo, hopefully Stepdads can pay attention to this and see that, hey, you know, they're not pushing this lane. Nobody's poking. Let's play a little bit safe. Is this Sonya going to get poked down? Trying to body block. I like it. They did not have Tythel there this time, but is able to slow him down enough. Poking out a lot of damage, and that gives a big lead for Tythel to be able to try to fight the Sonya in the lane. Gives him a pretty good advantage. We're actually getting auto attack from Falstad. Garrosh slowing down some rotations. I like it. Uh-oh. Skigums. I mean, he has all the stuff out, so it's fine, but still, you know, taking that extra damage he doesn't need to. Oh, yeah, I like it, Richard. Playing a little bit safe. I mean, Stepdads here is going to look super scary with their rotations. I mean, they have the same wave clear, if not better, but they also have the Garrosh that can instant throw anybody that steps out of line. Even Diablo is actually looking pretty aggressive here. Looking for that Jaina. Gets the stun combo, that's enough. He actually could throw Diablo right there. There was already used the charge. I'm surprised Garrosh did not use that throw. Diablo early game can die very easily, especially if he already used charge. That means he would have had no way to get out. I feel like that would have been a dead Diablo. No teams opting to get Merc camps yet. Let's take a quick look at this top lane. Blaze is actually doing quite fine. I don't know why we saw Kael'thas' voice there. But Skigum's on the bot lane, able to get that pick onto the Falstad. Jaina looking for it. Is he going to go for it? Oh, that stun. Ends up killing the Garrosh, but Skigums dies for it. He was definitely looking for that charge. You could see it in his eyes. Blaze is doing super fine up here. I mean, he's going to be slowly out of mana soon, so Sonya will have the upper hand once the Blaze runs out of mana. Stun's already going out. Ice Parry at 13, yeah, please. So yeah, so this is the only downside of Blaze on the solo lane against Sonya. He might do fine, but oh, Blackout's looking for the gank, baiting out the Sonya. No, he doesn't read it. Nope. Got a little greedy there. Well, impatient rather, I should say. And Freelo's gonna be focusing on these bottom mercs. You know, there's some time. There's obviously, oh, Jaina, no, throw. This is not going to smell good. Blackout getting stunned, followed up by the Kael'thas and the Stukov, and that's going to be a dead Jaina. For the cost of 1 Merc camp. Luckily, death timers are still relatively short, and it will take them a little bit of time for Stepdads to take the enough monsters here to be scary. So we should still be seeing a good 5v5 here. They're probably going to be looking for Garrosh to wait for the Diablo to do any type of charge stun. Skigum's just sitting in the back. A big stun from Tythel. Garrosh ends up throwing Diablo. Not really getting any value. Dragon coming out. Dragon Queen coming out. Big Flame Strike hitting a bunch of people. Tythel's actually super out of mana. Genji's sitting in the back line trying to hit everybody. But, I mean, after this Dragon comes out, they only need 9 more. Kael'thas can just throw a couple Qs in there. And I feel like they should be able to at least scare them off. Jaina getting the zoning blizzard, doing a lot of damage for his team, but everybody kind of dashes around it. Stukov lurks in the lurking arm. Does Diablo die for it? He ends up dying. And that's going to be first Punisher. Again, a very close Punisher. It was 39 to 35, but I think it was played correct by both teams. Freelo had to use Dragon to be able to put any type of pressure. But luckily, Stepdads had enough monsters already. Nice dash from Skigums. That Punisher is actually just chunking down Blackout. Once again, everybody's taking tower shots, waiting for those minions. Didn't even wait for the Garrosh. Sonya's doing a little bit of double soaking, but not really. Just going to push some tower pressure. So this is a 4v4 right now. Diablo's at about 70 souls, so he's pretty tanky. Actually going for that diabolical momentum against the Falstead and Kael'thas. Just wants to get more resets on his... How do we keep hearing Kael'thas all over the place? Wait, what? How did I miss that? What was Genji doing? Level 7's hit for everybody? Oh man, Alexstrasza, no! These rotations, they're not respecting the Garrosh. Ooh, Tythel missing the sun. Allows Sonya to get the free whirlwinds. So this is about probably will end up being a full level lead for Stepdads, which means the next objective fight, they will have level 10. Ends up throwing the Diablo. Just chunking some damage down. I mean, he does not have the spell shield, so he is pretty squishy. Oh, I shouldn't say pretty squishy. He is squishier. And let's see if Stepdad's looking to control some of the minions here. Diablo's at 99 souls. So looking at the quest, we once again see the Abundance quest coming out of Richard. Getting that Globes, loyal trader. Look at that. But this is, 3/4 of a level lead. They're pushing this. I feel like they're probably going to say that's not worth it. It's easy to clear. I kind of want to keep watching this, but I also want to see how they're doing in this top lane. Sonya's still getting beat up by Tythel. Taking that, now that he has the mana and he's getting the cooldowns. Sonya's nearly finished with his Globe quest, which means he's going to be a lot tankier against the Genji. Falstad's about halfway. Diablo, once he charged, Garrosh should have an easy... No! What? No! Falstad! Why did you do that? But luckily enough, they were still able to follow it up. Diablo does get a throw over Garrosh. He will die. That Gust was not needed. That actually, I mean, they still got 2 for it. So, I mean, it worked out. But a little bit of anti-synergy there. That is a lot of ultimates used by Stepdads with short cooldown with short death timers. Freelo's actually all going to be up by this shrine, and they're going to have all their ultimates. Whereas, I mean, Stepdads kind of will. I mean, Gus is up short, Phoenix is up short, Taunt's up short, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. We are going to have Alexstrasza is going to have Dragon Form, and now this is going to be a solid 5v5. We're going to have to see how this goes. We should look for both teams to try to clear out these minion waves. You don't want these minion waves pushing into the lane while you're up here trying to take the monsters and the objective. Mainly because it loses a lot of your escape. Like, let's say these minions, but Diablo getting a good hit onto Garrosh. Nice counter stun by the Blaze, and having to use a lot of ultimates here. Oh, Genji's looking for it, but he doesn't get that reset, so he could not go into it. There's still so much damage coming in. He does end up getting 2 kills with the Cleansing Flame and the Genji. And that's what it takes. I mean, that was the actual 5v5 with all ultimates coming out. The Ring of Frost, I think, hit the Stukov. They were able to swipe away, but it's actually the Diablo stunning the Garrosh, separating him out, and then Blaze came in with a 4-man stun. I think really put them in a good spot. So, just scaring them off a little bit. I think we should see everybody. I don't believe Stepdads has any way to contest this now. Yeah, it looks like Stepdads is going to trade it off. And Falstad flying to the bot lane, so he will not have fly available for at least another 40 seconds to try to assist on this. The front wall is already down, so we're going to see Stepdads should try to bait this Punisher using the Indomitable, hopefully, to bait this Punisher all the way over to the front wall. Did not use Indomitable. There's the stun. It's going to be a flip. That is not what you wanted to see. Takes a lot of damage for no reason, and actually might go down. Gets one heal. Oh, if he had taunt, that would have been sick. Ends up dying. Too bad he wasn't able to taunt that Genji. But with Blaze dead, now they have nobody to bait this over. I guess they're going to have to bait it over with Sonya. Falstad in the bot lane is able to get it. Nice combo. Barely missed it. Did I just hear somebody say nope? Is that just me? Doc Holiday taking a lot of damage from these lasers. And that's a keep wall. Tythel having to rotate down to stop the Falstad from getting free value. But, I mean, I think that was probably a good call. It basically traded a fort v fort. There is keep wall down. And now they know that the next Punisher is not going to be down there for a while. The next Punisher could very easily be this lane. And if it is this lane and it lucks out for Stepdads, since they took that fort, it could very well even up. Ooh, 5-man here. Big stun. Put it out. They don't want to throw the Diablo. They end up taunting. He's not going to end up throwing the big stun. Gus coming out, but Genji in the back line sitting there with the Dragon Blade and is splitting the team completely. Nice shielding by... He's able... Nobody dies. Falstad actually picks up the camp. Sonya's in the back line, though. Trying to spin to win. Ends up not doing it. Not enough. They pick up the camp. Dragon Queen is down. Wait, what just happened there? With the throw behind the wall, that's a dead Diablo, even with the root, just for... And they bait out the Cleansing Flames. That's a super win for them. Next Shrine phase should be in about 30 seconds to start, and then another 30 seconds for it to finish. Falstad's looking for it. Gets the kill on the Jaina. Another big root from the Stukov, picking up the Blaze. Diablo came back, so it is still a 4v4. Sonya's coming back in. Teamfights are just going back and forth. Falstad's not quite stacked up with his things as Markin, but he should be able to get it in the next, like, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. If he has good rotations. Shuriken Mastery not done. But this is now a no souls Diablo, so he is super squishy. Looking at the healing numbers. Got Stukov with 35, Alex Straza with 47. Diablo tankiness is, meh. Because it's not Diablo Garrosh because he gets that armor. But level 16s now for Freelo. Wait, I was completely wrong. This thing actually takes forever. They don't have Genji available. There's flies coming in. Big Ring of Frost hitting 2 people. They have taunt coming out. There is Bunker's already dead. Immediately killing the Jaina, actually. Big APOC hitting 2 members. Genji can't decide if he wants to go into it or not. Swiping away the Diablo, even though he might have been able to die. That was an aggressive fight. I mean, I think Freelo just hit 16 there. But they did not actually pick up their talents before that fight. And that's so much beneficial for Stepdads to get back into this fight now, especially now they can send Sonya just to put on the shrine by herself, and everybody else can really just push for a little bit to get some value. They are going to stick the 5v5. Falstad has fly. I don't know if he wants to push in the top lane just to make sure that they get the stay ahead in their soaking. Jaina's back up. This is the next 5v5. We have more ultimates available for Freelo. There is Dragon Queen is available. Cleansing Flame is available. So I think this is a fight that Stepdads is not really going to want to take unless they get an early pick. Dragon Queen's out. They do not want this fight Gus came out. Should Cleansing Flame. They immediately blow out the Diablo. Once again, the Stukov with that root. Genji coming into the Falstad. Dragon Queen actually playing aggressively. Dropping. Genji still coming in there with the Dragon Queen. Sonya spinning to winning. Garrosh. I mean, now that Dragon Queen is out, Cleansing Flame is out, they just walk back into this. I mean, they have to. Oh, the chain bomb's the nice. That's Stukov root. That was so far away. Hitting the Richard. Throwing the Sonya and is actually going to try to pick up this Jaina. Ice Block is actually going to spell her death. But that's Stukov root. Honestly, I think that might have I mean, it didn't win them the game because they were already going to get that. But securing those 2 kills on the longer death timers on this lane where there is already a fort down. Stepdads, if they can they should be able to get a lot of value down here. Jaina's not up for another 20 seconds. Falstad has fly. Not quite in range to fly yet, but he will be down there shortly. He's just so close to finishing his stacks. They're going to be looking for this first jump. Genji with the bait. It takes very quick reaction times. I mean, people don't realize that. It looks so easy, but it actually does take pretty quick reaction times. I mean, you got probably like a quarter of a second to jump away. So Stepdads is looking to get this keep. I mean, there's still a quite healthy Punisher here. One stun against the Garrosh just to make sure he's not throwing anybody. And that's the first keep of the game going to Stepdads. You know, if they get a couple more team fights in their favor, I mean, they can push to core. The core is available. They still have 2 forts alive. Next Punisher should be mid lane. Should be. I don't think this is a fight that they want to take. There's no reason to fight over that fort. I mean, other than trying to prep the mid lane for the Punisher. But hopefully we should be seeing Falstad trying to constantly put pressure on this bot lane. Ooh, we're looking at a little bit of a party bush. Who checks it first? Oh, they see him top lane. They don't know where they are. They're getting to the back side. This is not good. Stepdads know. Oh no. The interrupt on the Alexstrasza and the Diablo's in the backline once again with the root, and Diablo's going to die really quick, but everybody's super grouped up for the Genji and he's getting so much value out of Dragon Blade. Finishing off the Kel'Thuzad first. Sonya in the backline though, chunking down the Jaina, but now Alexstrasza is able to get the Dragon form out. Oh, it was going back and forth, and I think this is definitely a dead Garrosh. This is unfortunately a little bit greedy to go for that fort. They almost turned it, I'm actually quite surprised how much Kel'Thuzad is just getting chunked down. But there's catapults on the core, or will be soon. Freelo saw all Stepdads down below. Diablo's going to be regulated to clean a little bit of those minions up. Still hasn't had to reset his souls yet, which is good for them. And I think Freelo has to take these camps on bottom just to make sure they can counter push those catapults. Garrosh is up for another 5 seconds. But everybody from Freelo is kind of scattered, so there's not really going to be any pressure going on. Hopefully we should see Falstad going up here. Okay. Yeah, we want to see the 4-man now, and Falstad kind of be doing the soaking. Level 20 almost hit for both teams. Sonya. Okay, they saw him bot lane, so they should be fine. Stepdads saw Freelo bot lane. They actually hit 21st, but it's not going to be any different. We got the double throw. The Biocoolsich. Biocoolsich now also detonates Lurking Arm. And silence them for 2 seconds. So getting like the big AoE stun. Epic Flight from the Falstad once. I mean, Epic Flight only gets value if you're not with the team. Actually getting Masters of Flames instead of he did go Ignite, but he's not going Flamethrower. So he's not looking to get, I mean, especially with how much he's been dying first in all these team fights, I'm very surprised he did not go Flamethrower to get some of that poke damage on there. I mean, there has been a lot of grouping, so I guess he's hoping that Living Bomb will just slowly beat him up. Garrosh looking to throw the blaze away. I like the little stun there. Alex Strauss is coming out with the stun. They're just looking to kill the Garrosh right away. I mean, I think that's probably the right call. Jaina is able to ice block the Falstad, but Falstad's probably going to end up dying here, especially with the Increased Dragon Blade. Nice blink from the Diablo, picking up that Falstad, and Skigum's still going in. Activate Degrand Allied Hero. Huh. Interesting. I think I've seen that talent before. So a little unfortunate for that team fight for Stepdads. They're looking pretty strong. They still have. I mean, they're gonna lose this fort. The Punisher is gonna jump probably into this keep. If they lose anybody during this Punisher, then they are. I think they lose the game. If they lose Kael'thas or Sonya here, I don't think there's a way for them. I think Freelo will be able to push to a core. Especially since they already took that first wall, I think very smartly. So now Diablo, they can't even have anybody jump over, because if somebody jumps over, if the Punisher jumps on somebody, Diablo will just be right there. Dragon Queen already coming out, make sure that they can push. They were looking for core here. There's no way they don't want core. Kael'thas sitting on top. Sonya's in the back line doing a little bush. Dust coming out, trying to keep him away. Garrosh sitting in the back, not able to throw the Alex Raza, which she was looking for. Throwing the blaze instead. There should be a stun coming out. But actually the taunt interrupted, but Garrosh is just going to get obliterated. Like I said, I mean, if there's any more, they have some disruption. This Molten Punisher, I mean, they are going to be able to kill the Punisher. Sonya is incredibly low, gets finished off by the Genji, and Hollis actually getting that final kill on the Stukov as well. And finishing off with the Kael'thas. Yeah, Freelo's definitely going to win this game. Almost gets the stun on the Falstad. That what a cheeky play. So a good comeback from Freelo. I mean, it was still, honestly, it was still a back and forth game. Stepdads getting the first keep, but they just had a couple missed calls, especially in that mid fort. Couple missed calls trying to push that forward where it wasn't really going to get any value. They didn't see him on the map and pushing up ahead on there. I think that's really where it started to snowball downwards away from Stepdads after that little bit of a team fight. But looking at the damage, Kael'thas sitting at the top. I'm still quite surprised he did not take Flamethrower. Alex Straza doing 50k, 40k more healing than Stukov. And Genji, honestly, at the top. All right, so we're going to see if anybody wants to step in from Freelo to do a quick interview. I know it was a 1-1 draw, so, but I was just going to say that the team that won second is going to do the interview. And all right, so just bring him into a lobby real quick. So it looks like we are going to get Hollis from Team Freelo, a tank player for Freelo, and coming off that second, at least one map win. You got one map win there, so that's always good.
Yeah, was that a win? I feel like one.
It did look pretty scary there. I mean, how are you guys feeling after Stepdads was able to get that keep on the bot lane?
I don't know. We were trying to stay positive, so it didn't feel too bad. But no, yeah, it definitely felt rough.
Yeah, I bet. There was a couple times that you guys were able to catch Stepdads kind of ostensibly like just kind of too far in the lane with no thing to gain. I think that mid fort when they were kind of pushing in and you guys were flanking around, was it kind of more of a like we got to just try to catch something thinking that they were going to the camp, or is it? I mean, you guys,
yeah, we were hoping to fight in the camp because we had everything and it was close quarters, but they were middle. And then we called the engaged middle, which honestly probably wasn't even the right call, but it just happened to kind of work.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because you guys were able to get your DPS onto their backline because everybody was coming in from behind them, so it worked. It definitely worked out in your favor.
Yeah, like letting them engage on us was not working, so I was just trying to find opportunities to force on them instead.
Yeah. But I think one thing I had talked about on the first game in Towers, there was at one point, you recall, you guys had just taken 2 forts, and Stepdads had 3-manned your top fort, and you guys were rotating up to them, but everybody kind of just stood in that bush at boss. I would be interested to see what your comms were there. Were you guys thinking that they were going to rotate through the boss pit to get back to their fort?
No, I wasn't with them, right? But
I
the
don't
call
think
is
you were.
definitely to go up there and kill them, because if they die there, we win the game.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, that's I was saying that the whole time. I was like, guys, go, 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 go! Like, and everybody kind of just stood in that bush and let them all hurt. I was very surprised by that.
I
Yeah,
guess they were waiting on me, but yeah, I guess they needed to go. I'd have to go back and watch that. But
Yeah.
if they were waiting, yeah, that was not right.
Okay, it's good to know that was not the call. I was like, I can't believe that anybody would think that they would walk backwards to the fort. But anyway, so taking a draw, probably not what you wanted to do, but it is what it is.
I think it's okay. We still beat Burrows in the tiebreaker, so now if we would have won both these games and the next one, we would have been first without a tiebreaker. Now we have to win the next one 2-0 to force the tiebreaker to win the tiebreaker. So it's not like a tragedy.
Right. But I mean, Stepdad still gave you guys a run for your money. It was close.
Yeah. They played very well.
Yeah, you can never count out somebody that might be lower ranked than you. Any game can go in any favor. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. A lot of back and forth team fights, which is always fun as a caster. It makes close games. But so how you guys looking ahead for the next 2 weeks? Or actually, rather, only 1 week. You only have one more game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the problem, is looking ahead, right? That's sort of what it felt like. Yeah, I mean, we're looking towards playoffs, maybe a little bit too much, probably, since I think that's why this happened.
Yeah, at least you know that you're in playoffs, so I mean, it doesn't hurt to look at the playoffs. All that changes is your seed.
we know we're in playoffs. We know we're top 2. We still have a really good chance to get number 1. So hopefully we 2-0 this next game and then win the tiebreaker. Yeah. Or Burrows just drops another game and then we just win automatically.
Right. Could go either way. All right. Well, then for you, do you got any shout outs for your team or anybody else?
Yeah, for the team, for Ember.
No. Ember.
Yeah, 2+2 McNulty. Same people I always shout out.
Oh.
I'll give special shout outs to Ann Dolphus, who got me into the game.
Ooh.
And to Arate, who turned me on to Chair League Season 1. And he was like, hey, we should put a team together. And I've been on a team ever since, like 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
So shout outs to them.
The old school shout outs, bringing it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back to the roots.
Beta alpha.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, congratulations at least on the draw and some fun games. So I guess we'll look forward to next week.
All right, thanks for casting.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya. All right, guys. So